The information in this video is for those who decided to devote their free time to a lathe hobby, machining materials by cutting, and earning on a lathe. Grind hard alloy VK8, T5, K10, T15, K6 and the like. Better abrasive circles from electrocorundum gray or green. Before using the tool it is necessary 1. To sharpen on a stone, the surface highlighted in green. And 2. To fill on a diamond circle, the surface of white color. The shape and dimensions of the cutting edge for processing viscous and brittle metals I'll show you, but you can decide how to do it yourself. Turn the bent for steel at an angle of 8 and fill it under 6. Lightly top the plate with a groove with a radius. Blunt the cutting edge, remove the chamfer on the diamond about 0.1 x 45, just rub on the stop circle, or the radius RE equals 0.1, can be diamond, nail file, 0.1 mm. This is the thickness of the riscs on the calipers. Scheme sharpening and dressing cutting edge increased by 5 times. Angle of 6 degrees for refueling and an angle of 8 degrees for sharpening. Radius 1 and radius 0.1 millimeters. Turn bent for cast iron at an angle of 8 and fill under 6. Slightly fix the plate from the top at an angle of 10. Here, and the plate itself is soldered at an angle of 10. The edge is also blunted on a diamond. Likewise, sharpen through the stubborn and left incisors. The form of sharpening the cutting edge of threaded and other profile cutters is no different. Alt ets 8 degrees total, 6 degrees, fill. Sharp, blunt, dull, but the reciprocal arrangement to control the template. During refueling, apply and monitor for clearance. Refilling on a diamond wheel is performed at least once per hour. Cutting chips. This is the firmness of the cutting edge of the carbide cutters. Well, the incisors are sharpened and tucked. Cutting edge below the axis of rotation of the workpiece by 0.1, 0.2 mm is allowed for external turning. For machining internal surfaces, the cutting edge is allowed to be 0.1, 0.2 mm above the axis. Install the cutting edge of the tool. Orient on the various surfaces of the machine. For a continuous cutter, the point must first come in contact with the workpiece. Maintain a small angle with respect to the axis of rotation of the spindle and transverse feed. Clamp the cutter in the cutting tool. To install a threaded tool, preform the workpiece to the diameter required for threading. Apply a corner universal pattern to the cutting edge. Control for clearance. Maximize the parallelism of the template and the treated surface of the workpiece. Similarly, adjust and fix the cutter to cut the internal thread. When installing a cutting or grooving tool, monitor the position of two surfaces. The red center line represents the axis of rotation of the spindle. These two lines symbolize perpendiculars to the center line. Do not allow the tool surfaces to contact the workpiece material. Only the cutting edges must interact with the workpiece body. For the normal course of the cutting and chip removal, this principle is very important. It is also possible to use different surfaces of the machine for the reference point. Transverse feed housing, frame guides. Slightly about the clamping of the incisors in the chisel. To increase the rigidity, you need to get rid of the gap between the tool holder and the cutting tool. Use the plates. Now in the model I will hide some objects for clarity and demonstrate. try to support each other. It does not matter where the market is located, on the basis of metal reception, on the market square, or in the garage of the grandfather. You have to buy cutters on the market. Set of right, left and threaded. To handle brittle the angle of 10 and viscous materials angle 0. The most necessary cutters, and without them cannot do at the initial stage of metalworking. Better with plates of hard alloy VK8 for impact treatment, but under normal unstressed conditions, it also cuts steel, cast iron and non-ferrous metals. But for small diameter threads, it is better to use cutters made of high-speed steel, Somocal, Rapid, P18, P6M5, HSS. To reduce the spindle speed and linear speeds, cutting and feeding.